In this little tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create a perfect product listing within Shopify. It's going to be professional. It's going to be perfectly optimized for SEO and everything you can think of. So this is how you do it. This is also how it will look in the end. If we preview this, then we have our color swatches. It switches between the images. Those are different. We have a short description. We have some call outs here, some features, and then neatly organized extra information. And how we do this, we all do it on the back end within Shopify itself. Now, I'm just going to go top to bottom and let you know what the perfect and literally the optimal setup would be. So for the title, we actually want to keep it relevant and short. Common mistake we see is people actually trying to game Google's SEO and try to put keywords in there. Keep it very simple. The only thing I want you to think about is I want to make it as descriptive as possible, and I want to make it very easy for people to buy. That's giving us more SEO boost than we can ever imagine just by having something that people actually want. Google will see this and will actually improve our ranking. So for the description, very similar. We don't want to over-explain. If there are things that we need to say, great, say them. But otherwise, I would keep them short. If you want to add benefits and features to the description, always make sure you phrase them from the perspective of the customer. So every time someone comes to a product page, they will ask themselves, what am I looking at and why should I care? So if we had, for example, and we do have it added to the product page template, but if I wanted to say, this is great for all seasons, or I could also say like this is very sturdy, but sturdy doesn't really mean anything. So I would phrase it as extra, and I'm just going to call it sturdy, so it withstands all the seasons. So the benefit is clear, like this is something you don't have to, it's winterproof basically. Winterproof would probably be better. So keep it very short and keep it actionable. For the media, a couple of things. There are two aspect ratios you could use. You can either use a square image or you can use a more vertical one. We have templates for that. But if you, for example, if you wanted to go with a square, that's totally fine. Just make sure in the product and the collection pages, you actually always limit the images to be just squares. Otherwise you get these moving titles and product titles. That just doesn't look really professional. Otherwise, the only tip I wanted to give you for the images, this is something every beginner brand oversees, and this is very low-hanging fruit that's giving you or going to give you like a lot of potential growth, and that is actually giving your images descriptive names. You can see one here and an alt text. Now, what's the reason behind this is Google or any search engine, whenever they try to make sense of what it is that we're selling, they can't necessarily see images, so they don't know what this is. So they try to read the image name. So this is the actual file name. And then they also read the text description, which is called the alt text. This is also great for ADA compliance, people that use screen readers. So this is a best practice is to actually describe what's in the picture. And then for the image name itself, make sure it contains your brand name and what it is, and then a little bit extra of what makes it different from the other images. So this is our planters, but a group of it, and the alt text would be a group of different sized plant, that's our name of our brand, planters. So this is now Google, again, any other search engine recognizes this is of the brand plant, and they know that this is an image of the planters and also know what to do with it now. So this is just a best practice. Make sure you're not using any funky names like this sometimes, like this is what we see. This doesn't give you anything. This is just a great advice that's going to help you grow. All right, let's leave this, no edits here. On to the next thing, the category. Usually when you create a product, then Shopify tries to guesstimate and auto-assign a category. Just make sure if you have one in there, it's actually correct. This is being used for the taxation if you are using Shopify taxes, which I recommend. This is going to make your life so much easier. So just make sure this is being assigned correctly, and then you're going to have a very, very easy life. Now, variants, I assume everyone that's watching this video understands the basics of the variants. In short, what this is any variation of our products. You can see it, we have a size and a color, so you can have it in small, medium, large, and the color would be a separate, what's called an option or variation, where we can have every size, also comes in white and gray. If you wanted to add one or remove one, you can just add another option, and then we can call it, like you can either go with anything they select, but you can just also create your custom, and you can call it anything, go by name, for example, and then the name is Florian, which would be my name. So this would totally be possible, yeah, you can fully customize this, and then you would have every color, every size come with every name. That's how it defaults. You can fully customize it, play around with it. Once you understand it, it's pretty self-explanatory. Once we have our options here, then we get this little view below, and this is where we can see all the variants. So this is, it always uses the first option. So like this is considered an option, and then every combination is considered a variant. But this is the first option we're seeing. It's small, medium, large, just because this is size is the first. And underneath you can see this little label saying 2 variants. And if I open this up by clicking this arrow, it's going to show me all the different combinations. So we have colors and size, and every size comes in every color. Now, when you just create a product, these will be empty boxes for you. There's just going to be an image of a placeholder. When you click it, you can actually define what the variant image should be. And the difference between the general media and a variant image is as soon as someone selects it. So for example, here we have a gray and small. This is our general media. So I'm opening up now the store. I see now this selected because this is a variant image. It's small and white selected. If I select gray, I see the different gray image because this is a variant image. And then underneath, I see the general product media, which is coming from this section right here. And you can see these, even though I have them in the media, everything that I need to assign here needs to be in the media, but those are automatically hidden. We do this via, this is using the Dawn theme, and Dawn has a setting to actually hide the variant images. And this way, this is just for us to basically pick here. And you just select them by clicking again and then selecting your according images. The other thing that's really important is, I mean, we can control price, but even more important, when you click into it, or when we open up, oops, that's not what we wanted to do. When we open up a variant, let's do white, for example, then we get to this little detail window, and this has a pricing information. Now, compared pricing means if we are having a discount, then price is always what's being charged. Compare it what you want as a strike-through price. So for example, if I were to say $40, then the store is going to look like 40, zip, strike-through, not anymore, $29 now. But this, the price is always what's being charged your customers. You have the option to charge tax or you don't. Usually you keep it enabled unless you're selling tax-exempt products like some digital goods in some states. Cost per item. Now I'm always a fan, if you have that data, be very clean in your setup, add your cost per item. This is your own cost of goods. So if you know the planter cost me, let's say $5 in production, then automatically we get much more reporting, much better analytics because it knows our profit are $24 for each sale, leaving us with a margin of 82.8%. So the more data we have, the better the analytics, the better the reports, everything will just be much better. So keep it as clean as possible. If you have the data, put it in. SKU, if you have one, especially from your supplier, put that in. If you run a POS and you have a barcode, this is where you would add it. Track quantity. This is important for everyone that actually has physical inventory. Yes, you most of the time want to track quantity. You do have the option to sell when out of stock, meaning you know you're restocking really, really quickly and there might be a day where you go negative. Totally fine. People can still buy. And as soon as it comes back in stock, you can fulfill them as usual. So this is just meaning, okay, just continue, even like allow inventory to go negative pretty much. And then if you want to assign inventory, you see all of your locations here. And you can, if you wanted to add, for example, then you can just say available, adjust by, you say how many you have, and then this is going to adjust everything. Now for shipping, what's super, super important if you have the data is actually adding a product weight to your shipping information. Why is this important? Because as soon as we use Shopify's own benefits like the dynamic shipping, the rate calculation, they always go by weight. So if we don't have this data, their numbers can be completely off or they can't even come up with any numbers. You can still in the beginning, if you don't know this, totally fine, leave it blank for now and go with standard rates, just averages, and then as soon as you know what your average shipping is, adjust it. But if you have this data, again, I'm all for a clean setup. Put it in because this is going to make everything else much more accurate and also much more easier in your end. Purchase option, this only comes because we have a subscription app installed. You will not see this unless you have the same app. This is what we do on the variant level. Now, let me actually save this. And if we go back to the product, there's a couple more fields I want to cover. Now we have category meta fields and product meta fields. If you're new to meta fields, I recommend watch my meta field YouTube video. These are my absolutely favorite fields. We can do so much with them. We can create custom designs. We can do very, very advanced or advanced looking, not necessarily hard to build product pages. These are great. What they basically say is it's called a dynamic source, meaning we can have a field in our template pointing back to a meta field, and then we don't have to have custom static data for all of them. For example, the care instructions from a planter are different from a plant. So we don't want to have one page where we just hard type in, these are the care instructions. If it's a plant, this is for a planter. With a meta field, we just say every product defines its own value, and then our template just reads from it. So whatever we put as care instruction on the product, this will be added to the product page, and it's very easy to manage, and you can grow it basically into like huge brands. This is here. Now I want to quickly cover on the right. This is kind of self-explanatory. Status is if something is listed in the store, or if you make a draft, this just means, okay, we're currently creating new products that we still need to work on, like uploading images, maybe finalizing. So if you don't want it to be visible, put it in draft. Now keep in mind, even though you've potentially never added it to a collection, if it's active, it can be seen, because you can, just by modifying the URL of your store, you can see all products that are live. As long as you, or until you switch it to draft, then it completely disappears as if it's not there for the regular customer. Publishing, this is where we control our sales channels. So one of the best things about Shopify is you can sell in your retail location or many retail locations, plus online, plus on Instagram Shop, on Pinterest, on TikTok Shop, like many more places, Google Shop, can all be controlled from here. So I could just say that when I manage my sales channels, I want this product maybe to be only in the online store. I don't want this to be listed on Facebook and Instagram. And then when I do so, you see when it has a green light, this means, okay, people on the online store can see this, but now people on Instagram won't know about this product. So this is where we control where it is being published to. And now for the product organization, this is crucial to have, in my opinion. Type, this is something we can define ourselves. There's no real rules. This is something that your team understands and organizes products. So this I can call a planter, but I don't have to. I can call this a pot. I can call this anything. The reason why I recommend having them is because we can actually, in the analytics and the reports, query the type. So I could, if I would run a report saying how many planters have we sold, I would need to know what a planter is, and there is no other way for us to figuring this out on Shopify unless we have a type set. This is also making it very easy to automate our collections. You can in the collections say what's called now the smart collections, that every time I add a product of type planter, automatically add it to our planter collection. You don't have to do anything else. This it just works. Super easy. Now vendor, this is self-explanatory. If this is not you, if it's you, add you. If it's some other brand that you're selling, just add the brand. It's going to show during the checkout on the invoice. You don't have to show this in store, especially if it's only you. If you're selling your own products, hide them from the product page. This is very redundant information. We don't need to know. Like, we know we're on your store. We don't need to know everything is by you. Collections, if you can see, those are all smart collections. Meaning they already know what this is. They grab it by category. They grab it by, I don't even know what we created here. So there's some collections we just set up. But if you say, okay, I definitely know this has to go to our, let's say, summer collection, summer 2025 collection, then you can also just click in and select the collection. So we don't have any here in our test store, but I could assign it now to the test collection as well. And you can see it's already being added. In the past, we always had to open up the collection, add a product. This just makes it much quicker. And then for tags, this is just us being able to add custom tagging. Now you can use tagging for filtering, for example, collection filters, but in general, this is something I would say leave it empty until you have to use it. You will know the day will come when you realize I need more information, and then the only way to do it is tags. I just want you to avoid to have many tags right now before you actually need them. This is going to make it harder to find the right tags whenever you're trying to tag something, and it's just more maintenance. But as soon as you need something, you can then say, so what's often common, let's do bestseller, for example, or it's or you want to customize the position, or as soon as you work with developers, they maybe need some extra information on a product. Tags are fantastic for it. You can see we had a feature where someone wanted to define a position in a collection, and manual didn't work. They wanted to do it with a spreadsheet and a CSV upload, and for this you would use a tag just saying this is custom position and then the number of the position. And then last but not least, we have our templates. Now what the template is by default, whenever we design our store, we always get one product template, and if we don't assign anything else, every product will look the same on the product page. Yes, title, pricing, all of that information will be different, the images will be different, but in terms of styling of the page, it will all be the same. Now we also have the chance in our template to say, oh, I actually have one specifically designed for plants. Or right now we have one that we call the demo because we wanted to demo new features. And then you can assign the template here, and as soon as I do this, this product now, instead of using the default product template, now uses the actual plant, or what we called the plant template. You can name it whatever you want, but this is where you can assign it. Quick call out, you can only see templates and assign templates from your live theme. So if you were to actually create a new product template, what you would do is you would go into your online store. I need to move my face. You would go in here, you would create the empty template in your live theme. Now, I'm not a fan of making edits on the live theme, so you only create the template, then you actually duplicate the theme, then you design the template, and as soon as the template is ready, you can hit publish again. Reason being is we then already have the template, and if the product is not live yet, we can already assign the template even though it isn't styled, and as soon as we hit publish, everything will just fall into place and it will look good. And the other reason is when we design a template in the customizer, then, and this is how you access it, up here we can select our products, and then these are all our product templates. And then you'll see that if I don't assign something to it, so for example, I upload now a plant, but I haven't assigned the plant to the plant template, then Shopify will always give me the first product not assigned to a specific template. So this is a plant protein guide. This is not a plant. I couldn't make the plant edits here without seeing the plant information, but if as soon as you assign it to the plant from the live theme, even though you haven't even styled it yet, you can work even on a theme duplicate and your own plant will actually show up here. That's how you do it. That's how you create a perfect product listing. It's not much more than that. Don't over optimize for search engines. You optimize for customers. We're in the business of selling products. The more products you sell, the higher you will be ranked by Google automatically. Just make sure you add image titles, really good, the actual file titles, and alt text, just so every robot, every crawler, what they call them with the search engines, they at least understand what it is that we're portraying. And then other than that, short titles, meaningful descriptions, short product pages, and really think about your product images, make them look good, and then you are going to crush it on Shopify. If you like this video, then leave a like, maybe subscribe even to the channel, join our newsletter, and I see you in the next video.